Ventilators have been in high demand during the pandemic, and a team of Smith College staff and alums of the engineering department recently won an international design contest for ventilators put on by Mass General Hospital residents. I spoke with Susannah Howe, senior lecturer at Smith College, and alum Astrid Landeau, who was the project manager, to find out more.
So in early April, I decided that I wanted to participate in the CoVent 19 challenge, which was a challenge put together by a team of anesthesiologist residents at MGH Hospital in Boston. And it was to design a rapidly deployable and easily manufacturable and inexpensive ventilator to be used to help with ventilator shortages because of COVID-19. And I reached out to my pool of Smith Engineering alumni, many of whom I had in class, the engineering class that I teach, and reached out and said, was anyone interested in joining me in this challenge? It had initially a 1 month time frame for round one and an additional 1 month time frame for round two. And I said, this is a great opportunity. Let's see if we want to work together and put in a design. I got responses from about 30 people who said, yes, count me in. I would love to be involved. And I reached out to Astrid to help me co-lead the team. And we worked together as a group from April 6th through May 1st and submitted our round one conceptual design. And then we were chosen as one of 7 finalists to actually build and test our design, and submitted that then on June 21st. The round two got extended a little bit, and we submitted that material, and then went through a judging period, and we did a final presentation for the judges, defending our design, and we ended up winning the entire competition. So there were about 200 teams that were submitted that entered round one, and it said an additional 7 got chosen to round two, and then we won the whole thing. So really, really exciting opportunity. Great to be able to contribute to COVID-19 efforts and really be able to work together in this time of social isolation.
And Astrid, you're the project manager, and you graduated from Smith in 2015, if I recall?
Yep, that's correct.
How did you manage to bring all of these different minds together in the midst of the pandemic and social distancing? How were you able to work that out?
So that was certainly one of the biggest challenges that we identified early on. We had a lot of people in different places. All the work was going to be remote, and we had to figure out a way that persons could come in and asynchronously work. In other words, work on their own, really to contribute to this greater whole. We chose Google Drive as our platform, so it was completely free and then completely integrated, so everyone was able to jump on. We designed the work into 5 sprints for round one and then 5 sprints for round two, with each sprint being roughly 5 days. And what we did was identify specific tasks that needed to happen in each sprint. So that allowed anyone, anywhere, to pick up a task, contribute it at any time, and then put it back down, and someone else could then go and build on it later. So that was a bit of a brainchild of ours to put that together, but that is how we managed to work. Yeah. However, in round two, the ante got up even more because we were tasked with creating something physical. So we had to put together a prototype in a location. And that, of course, added even more complexity to a remote working situation. Fortunately, Smith College allowed us to use their Center for Design and Fabrication, and we had 4 persons with access to that location. So we had a pretty complex set of cameras and Zoom calls all lined up so that persons anywhere from our team could call into the lab and assist with putting the prototype together.
And Susannah, can you explain a little bit about the ventilator that you came up with?
Sure. So the design builds on the fact that in a standard hospital, there's compressed air and compressed oxygen that's accessible within the hospital room. And it takes that air and oxygen, puts it through into a decompression chamber, and then controls the airflow with a series of solenoid valves. So that allows for very, very tight control over how much air then goes to the patient, and it's monitored very carefully with flow sensors and pressure sensors. And there's a very robust user interface that has lots of information about where the patient is and lots of settings that the clinician can use. So our goal was really to have something that was very simplified, but had enough complexity and enough control that it would really cater to COVID-19 patients and clinician needs.
And where do you go from here with the design?
So the competition organizers are committed to taking this design forward. They're working right now with a medical device firm that's doing a gap analysis to help move it toward regulatory approval and thinking about manufacturing. Right now, they're targeting various countries in Africa, especially West Africa, but there are opportunities for this all over the world.
Now, is this something that could have come out of another one of your capstone courses? I know this is something that was sort of linked with that. Is that every year? Are you in sort of similar competitions?
So this, in fact, was not at all related to the capstone course that I teach. I was actually on sabbatical this past year. But the connection to capstone was that most of the people on our team had been involved with the capstone course that I teach when they were students. So this was purely an alumni effort. We had one undergraduate student who was a senior at Smith who joined our team for part of the time, but primarily it was an alumni effort. But I do have a team going forward in my capstone course this coming year who will do some additional work on the Smith Vent design. We've laid out quite a lot of possible future pathways and future work that we'd like to see done with the design that we just didn't have the time to do in the time frame of the competition. So there will be some additional work that is done by a capstone team at Smith going forward. So that will be really exciting.
Astrid, tell me a little bit about how this was for you to work on the project, especially considering, the seriousness of the pandemic.
So I think this was huge, not just for me, but for everyone on the team because of the collaborative edge. I was sitting at home, literally watching the news, wondering, how can I help? How can I help? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. What can I do? And that's when I got Susannah's email that said, hey, this is a way to contribute. So I immediately jumped on it. And the seriousness of it, I think, really helped us and motivated us. We knew that we were contributing to a larger fight against COVID-19, and that really brought us together. It allowed us to collaborate in a time where everyone was socially isolated. So it was really huge motivators for me and really the rest.
Susannah, did you ever expect, at the start of this project, when you initially sent out those emails, that you'd be in this position and you'd win?
No, I mean, we really, first of all, I didn't even know that I'd have as many people as 30 who were interested, thought maybe 4 or 5. And our goal really from the very beginning was what can we do together? What can we contribute? Some small part to the larger open source design community. We never expected that we would win. It's been really exciting to be able to do that. And what it's meant is that our design really is getting out there and many pieces of it are going to be taken forward by other people. And that's really exciting because it means that we've been able to contribute something and show how powerful the collaboration can be even in a remote format.
Did people just want to jump in and help?
People did, yes. They were really excited and really wanting to get involved. And most people on the team, when they signed up, said that they had fewer than 5 hours a week that they could contribute. And people really stepped up to put in far more hours than that, far more time on top of their other jobs and their other studies. We had some full-time grad students. We had a lot of full-time employed people. And they added this on top of everything because it was so rewarding and it was so valuable. And it felt like we were really making progress together and doing something as a team that we would never have been able to do individually.
And Astrid, what do you think going from here? Do you have any other ideas for your own projects related to this?
Absolutely. Even if it's not directly related to the ventilator, absolutely related to collaboration and how we interact with people remotely, how to do project management in a completely virtual space. Some of the great workshops that we handled in this project I'll absolutely be taking to my job.
Susannah, where were the people from? You said you had about 30 people working on this. Are they from all over the country? They're local?
No, from all over the country. We had East Coast all the way to West Coast. We had down to Florida, up to Maine. We had a couple in Canada, and we had one in Germany.
So Astrid, how can manufacturers find out more about this design?
So our design is completely free and open, available at tinyurl.com/smithvent. There are some future works, so this is by no means ready for use. But what you can do is see all the work we've done, all our future work plans, and you can use that to create a ventilator that can one day save lives.